we have a special guest who is ready to give us all of his hot takes for week 4, Spags.
Yeah, one of our best performers last year in the Ride or Die picks as a guest, Sal Vetri, is going to be joining the show. The king of YouTube, the king of TikTok. We're going to talk about it all here. We're going to catch up on some injuries that actually matter, including the 2 Tennessee Titans wide receivers you want to play. They're not playing this weekend. And Visca, this Visca thing. Well, let's talk about that too, Pete, right after the intro.
Sorry.
Hello, everyone. Wow, that was truncated. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Splash Play, the fantasy football podcast for every game under the sun. And I am Chris Spags, joined once again by your friend and mine, Peter Overzet. How are you doing, Pete?
I'm doing good. We might have to ask our guest here if something weird is going on with YouTube, because I was doing some post-production on my show earlier and YouTube was being glitchy. That was just weird. So, Sal, have you heard from your friends at Google what's going on?
No, I haven't had, at least today, I haven't had any issues. I uploaded something for tomorrow as well. I haven't had any issues with that. I've had some issues with Venmo. They're trying to tax me now and there, but other than that, we're good with the technology today.
Well, so Pete, I guess you're just getting shadow banned then. It's finally.
I know. Yeah, I don't even have any money in my Venmo to get taxed on right now. So this is Sal's just with a huge flex right there.
Yeah, so if you want to send some money to an untaxed Venmo me at Chris Spags, also Venmo at Peter Overzet and Sal Vetri. We're going to talk a lot here, but we appreciate all of you guys tuning in. So let's get the plugs out of the way. First of all, make sure to hit the like button, whether you're watching on Pete's channel or on the Splash Play channel. We appreciate the support, and do it for all your YouTube creators out there. As our pal Sal here will tell you, the likes are crucial for everybody out there in this economy. So help us out and everybody on YouTube by hitting that like button. And of course, make sure to follow at Splash Play Pod. We follow back everybody on there because we care personally about every single one of you. So please go do that at Splash Play Pod on Twitter and Instagram. And then the last part, I got 2 more plugs here. We are, of course, presented by Football Outsiders. Go to footballoutsiders.com/subscribe. You're going to hear a lot of talk about DVOA today. That is their proprietary metric, along with a lot of other great data they have to give you the holistic view about football when you're building your DFS, fantasy, and betting cards out there. So go footballoutsiders.com/subscribe. Get a package for just $5 a month to get all the great data over there. And then the last thing, go rate us 5 stars and give us a review on Apple Podcasts, because we're giving away guest spots. Guys like Sal, they don't have to leave us a review. He can come on. He's earned those bona fides, but you out there can just be like Sal, be like the guys we had on the show yesterday, and join us on Thursday. If you leave us 5 stars and a review, we're going to give away some more golden tickets to join the show at the end of this one. So hang out with us and you'll see how that goes. And Pete, let's kick it to you real fast, because I feel like we can start the debate real quickly before we do the injuries that actually matter. We'll talk more about Sal stuff. And on Sal, I'm curious where you're going to land with this, but Laviska Shenault, a man we debated yesterday, is now the talk of the industry once again. Your pal Gretsch, or our pal Gretsch, talking about how maybe a bit of a fool's gold performance yesterday. DJ Chark fractured his ankle, so we'll see how long that knocks him out. And I'll ask you first, Sal, before we go to Pete. What are your thoughts on Laviska Shenault overall right now with no Chark? And are you bullish, not bullish, somewhere in between?
I mean, yeah, much more bullish than without Chark there. Chark was running as a Z on the outside, a lot of go routes. You saw Visca run probably 3 or 4 of those last night, took the one deep shot that he adjusted on. So, yeah, I'm in on Visca right now. I don't know if you're going to be able to add him in anything other than like a 10-team league, but I'd feel confident in him. I think that you're going to see him on the outsides and a lot of 2 more wide receiver sets as just the year goes on. So I think it makes sense to be more bullish on him after last night, especially after the Chark injury. That's where I sit.
All right, Pete, what's your official take here? You have the podium now. You're giving your press conference as the official president of the Laviska Shenault fan club, but you've also been kind of, measuring your takes about him recently. So where do you lie after the injury?
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing, the knock on Visca was they were just going to use him in this gadget role, which is why he had such a low ADOT. So to see that big play last night where Lawrence connected with him, that's where you get excited, because that's where all the fantasy points are going to come from. You can get away with the gadget role if you're like Deebo Samuel and you're just getting absolutely fed in the low areas, and then you're really explosive in an efficient offense. But I don't think that's going to be the case with this Jags offense. So we do need to see his role expand here. And based on who they promoted, it was Tavon Austin, who was kind of the third wide receiver who was running all those routes. So hopefully he slides into that gadget role, and then we get, Laviska running the deep downfield routes. And now that you remove Chark, I do think that his stock should be on the rise.
It seems like the inhibitor here is really that Urban Meyer offense that has not looked very good, even though they started pretty hot yesterday. So you're going to be subject to those whims as we go. But I think Visca, I have to be a little more bullish on Visca. And now is the time. Josh asking to show off the mini helmet. Sal, do you have any mini helmets of your own representing your favorite players?
I have the smallest of mini helmets
Oh,
right
wow.
here.
Oh,
How
my
about
God.
that?
Hang on. Let me see this. This thing is, I needed a magnifying glass to see this, Sal.
Yeah, this is the smallest of many helmets. Sometimes when I'm feeling like I need, so Aaron Rodgers gets the ball back with 38 seconds. I thought they could use some luck, so I usually put it on my right thumb and I do this. I just shake it, and it works every time. It worked again this week. So yeah, I mean, the mini helmets, man.
Did you buy the 32 pack of those? Because I actually had the 32 pack and never busted them out because I didn't put the floating shelf behind me.
My dad, at random parts in our house, in his man cave all over the place, just has mini Yankee, Bruins, Packers helmets, and I took a couple with me to college and have just had them since. I'm sure he bought the Sam's Club edition of how to get them for half off.
Yeah, so okay, there you go. So Sal now a tinier helmet than Pete has. So I guess that's really that's what people come on the show for, to show off their tiny helmets. But first of all, we got to introduce Sal properly. Make sure you are following at Sal Vetri DFS on Twitter, at Sal Vetri on TikTok, and I think Pete linked the Sal Vetri's YouTube channel as well there. So if you are a Pete YouTube guy, go check out Sal. If you're a Sal YouTube guy, go check out Pete. I think that's the kind of connections we make here. But Sal, you are crushing it. I got to say, Pete and I talked about it a little bit. The YouTube views are there, and I didn't even realize that you are such a beast on TikTok in a way that honestly not a lot of people are right now for fantasy and betting. So how are you doing this all as like a one-man shop?
Yeah, I guess the TikTok thing was interesting. It was probably in July. I just looked on there because that's like the big season for, or big time for season long content. So I looked on there and I was like, all right, let's see if anybody's putting time into this. And I was like, there's got to be at least like 5-10 people crushing it. I don't really want to put too much time if that's the case and compete with them. And then I saw it was like, there's like 3 or 4 accounts with some decent content, big channels, but it's 18, 20-year-olds on their phone. Like it's not that much competition. And I was like, if this was my competition on YouTube 10 years ago, this would look so tasty. Like, go ahead and attack this. So I did that. Joe Holka did it around the same time as well. And it's just consistency. Like if you take like a day or two off of TikTok, it'll show, like reflect, and like kind of have to build back up. But it's really just consistency. Like I started to do it like by cutting my YouTube videos, and that wasn't working too well. So each morning it'll take like an hour to just record something for 30 seconds, film it and edit it and get it all done. It's like an hour for the TikTok. So I added that to just my workload in the mornings. And yeah, it's so far it's doing good. I don't know exactly where like the upside in it is, but for me, it can only be good. Like if I waste a couple hours of my time throughout the months, that's fine. If it becomes a 10-minute video platform and now it's competing with YouTube or whatever it might be for like longer ad reach. So I don't know. We'll see what happens in a year or two, but for right now, it's growing nicely.
Are you finding people coming to your YouTube channel more from TikTok, or is that something that the connective threads aren't really there?
Yeah, so I'm like able to track the Bitly link, and I had in there before that like a link to the draft guide I was doing for fantasy football, and there are definitely some transfers, and some people like in live streams have said it. I don't know the exact number, but there was conversions for like draft guide sales, which surprised me. And a lot of the people who like comment, like send me like DMs, just like fantasy questions nonstop. A lot of them, though, seem like my demographic. Like I thought it'd be like 16, 18-year-olds, at least based on like profile pictures. They look like 30, 35-year-old men, which I assume is like the exact guy.
You might be on TikTok for different reasons, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess it's just the way that they're sending it out there. It's like the demographics. So like I'm sure there's a lot more 16 and 18-year-olds. I can't see the exact flow right now on TikTok. But yeah, there's still a good amount of my demographic from what it can seem. So it's just interesting. It's kind of like mystery right now, but preparing in case something happens.
Yeah, and Pete just dropped off camera here. I presume because you've officially shamed him. Pete's thing used to be being the TikTok guy, and now, Sal, you're the TikTok guy, and then Pete can't even show his face on Splash.
Apparently, I need to refresh my browser, but no, I actually did that purposefully because once I heard that Sal is just scoping out these avatars so closely, I didn't want to be under his watchful eye. I'll be right back.
All right, so Pete will be right back. Also, this guy in the YouTube chats at trying to be part of joining the Splash Play show doesn't know our podcast name. Look up Splash Play on your Apple Podcast apps, and you'll find it on there. So go check that out. But yeah, Sal, I feel like this is honestly a noteworthy moment because like Pete was for a while getting shamed by guys out there for being the TikTok guy, and I think you've now normalized TikTok where like you're not dancing on there, and I feel like that's the thing people do, and they feel like, oh, like yeah, I'm a 40-year-old white guy, but if I go on TikTok, I have to do the whatever and do the oh no videos, and it's like you don't have to do that.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like last year, I didn't do anything with TikTok because I thought the exact same stuff. And yeah, I mean, it's just like little. Now they have 3 minute long. You can do live streams on there. So it's like every month or every 2 months, they're adding small features. It's just going to take like one big feature. Like, okay, now you can put 10-minute videos on here. And now, oh, now you're getting reach to reach 400,000 views on this video and you're getting 10 minutes. So advertisers can start to come on. You can start to show your personality more. All it's going to take is one thing like that. I think it went from a minute to 3 minutes like 2 or 3 months ago. And that's a pretty big step for them in terms of like the overall watch time of what is happening on TikTok. TikTok 2 weeks ago was the first time that TikTok or any video platform, including like Twitter or anything, had more uploads to it than YouTube, and it was TikTok. So it's crazy how many people are reaching it. And obviously like China being massively involved with like their audience is going to impact that number.
Yeah, you and LeBron, two guys who are big fans of China right now. we're gonna do our own little TikTok test coming up in a minute here. That is our guest specific bit for the day. The TikTok improv session is what I'm calling it. So Pete,
Cool.
maybe you could pick up a thing or two here from a real TikTok pro.
I apparently need to. I haven't posted. I think I posted a couple in the summer, just clips from stuff, but I haven't done an original TikTok in forever. So whatever we cut today, I am going to put it on TikTok. But Sal, Spags, are we going into this now or?
No, we're gonna do the injuries that actually matter. Okay, but if you have something you want to hit on, you can do it.
No. I wanted to get some of Sal's tips before I cut my TikTok.
We'll do that as like a real segment there. So maybe honestly, people out there, I know we have a lot of people in the fantasy community trying to make their own bona fides. So there might be some helpful things today in a way that we're given helpful advice for fantasy and betting, but today we can give some actual helpful advice for the content creators out there. So hang with us. But let's talk about the injuries that actually matter. AJ Brown and Julio Jones both out for Sunday at the Jets. And this is a game that actually intrigues me a lot because our Edge Sports line here, as I mentioned, Football Outsiders, Edge Sports, two of the facets here of the company I work for. And they are doing 100,000 simulations for each game. And they have this one with Tennessee and the Jets being both closer than the books have it, as well as much lower scoring. Under a 40-point over-under is what Edge Sports, EDJsports.com is projecting right now for that game. And Sal, I'll ask you here, where last week we saw Nick Westbrook-Akeen get a ton of run. Chester Rogers has been in the mix. Are you willing to play any Titans besides Derrick Henry in this spot now with no AJ Brown, and Julio Jones? I should not look at multiple things at once is what I'm learning.
Yeah, I think I want to see who's going to be active on Sunday because Josh Reynolds was inactive last week and he wasn't hurt. They just said he isn't playing well on special teams, but now with two wide receivers down, he might return. Marcus Johnson's designated to return off the IR. So these are like two receivers that can be involved. Marcus Johnson's this big dude who can kind of play the AJ Brown role on the outside. So yeah, Westbrook looked good last week. He had the touchdown, 13 fantasy points, but there's a lot of value this week. We'll get to like things with the Giants. Maybe Curtis Samuel is activated, it seems like this week. So there's a lot of value at receiver and a ton of like mid-range value. So I'm not dying to get there. He's athletic. He looks decent. I'm sure I'll get some in my runs. I don't plan to stack this game up. So I just don't think I'm going to be as high on him this week with so much value on the slate and those other receivers maybe coming back. Like nobody's shocked to see Josh Reynolds lead this team with 7 targets this week if he's active and you get like a 4-target game out of Westbrook.
Pete, what about you here? You want to go to some Titans with two of the big dogs not playing in this game that they probably don't need them to play?
Yeah, I mean, my kind of rule with these cheap wide receivers for DFS is I don't want to play them if they're going to be popular, just because they have a high likelihood of failing. And with some of the other news, Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, now you're going to get like a guy like Colin Johnson, who's going to be in the exact same spot from a usage bump as, Nick Westbrook, but it's probably going to come with a fraction of the ownership. So I'd rather pick my spots with this. I get it if you're wanting to correlate and you like this game, and Derrick Henry's ownership could still be pretty hard. So you might, or high. So you might be able to get some leverage there. But yeah, I'm probably staying away from this. I think the other interesting thing is Anthony Firkser is also going to be back this week. And that might be a nice pivot because tight end is really gross. You're going to get a cheap guy in Firkser at 3,100 on DraftKings, stepping into a little more opportunity. And maybe he's not quite as trendy as Nick Westbrook.
Yeah, so a game that Pete just mentioned here, Darius Slayton and Sterling Shepard still out of practice, unlikely to play. We talked about this a little bit yesterday, but here's the question I'm going to ask you, Pete, because you did mention these guys. Rank the remaining Giants pass catchers for you because Kenny Golladay is going to be the big ticket item. I'm with you. I think Colin Johnson's interesting. Kadarius Toney, our pal Mike Leone was beating the drum of not taking Kadarius Toney, but he's going to get a shot, it seems. So rank the guys that you would actually play, or honestly, just rank them even if you wouldn't play them for the Giants.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's kind of clear. It's Golladay, then it's Colin Johnson, and then probably Kadarius Toney. And And because I think Colin Johnson will take that kind of downfield role that Slayton had. Galladay will be Galladay. And then Tony will probably work underneath with some of the Shepherd routes, but obviously not be as effective and probably not have Daniel Jones's eye as much as Sterling Shepard did.
Sal, how about you? Do you have a ranking of these Giants pass catchers? And also, if you have any color on you, if you would consider playing them at all against a New Orleans team that, according to Football Outsiders DVOA, is looking like one of the better defensive teams so far this year.
Yeah, it's a good defense. I think Evan Ingram's probably my favorite if we're going to throw him into the pass catchers. 17% target share, was used as a receiver in the slider out wide 50% of the time last week. I don't think he'll pick up that much ownership. Probably bumps up, maybe gets like 6-7%. I don't know if it'll hit double digits when you have guys like Tyler Higbee and some other cheap guys. Dalton Schultz has a big week last week in that same range. So I probably go Evan Ingram. After that, I don't really want any of them. Like, I don't care too much for Kenny Galladay, even though he should see maybe a bump to the target share, you would think. Colin Johnson couldn't get separation in the preseason against guys. I like him. He's definitely a downfield weapon. He was good with the Jags in the regular season and then looked terrible in the preseason at trying to get any type of separation. And yeah, Tony, like, he'll take on the Shepherd role, but he was a guy who was scouted as like a 3rd-round pick by a lot of sharp people. So, like, would I be starting Diami Brown or Amon-Ra St. Brown this week when they're getting their roles? I don't want to. I don't think he's going to be used downfield. So I'll probably take Johnson if you had to punt one in this, like a showdown slate or something, over Tony just for the downfield usage. And he's a monster. He's like 230 pounds for the red zone role.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Colin Johnson, 3,200 on DK this week. I think we saw him flash a little bit in the DJ Chark role when he was on Jacksonville. And I think Kenny Galladay is going to be the obvious one. Certainly a guy you can get some to. But if you want to save some money, I don't think going to Colin Johnson's way is going to be the worst move. George Kittle might play, but seems closer to doubtful versus Seattle this week. Sal, I'll go to you first here. Does this matter to you very much? I feel like there used to be a time where George Kittle's out, people would play a Ross Dwelly or whatever else is going to be out there, tight end. I think Vernon Davis being the better approximation there. But now we have Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, guys that seem like really viable pass catching weapons for San Francisco, a team that's not trying to throw a lot anyway. Are you willing to get to anybody here on the Niners if Kittle's out?
Yeah, I think the most important thing this does for me is if Kittle's in, it makes me want him even more. Like, he's, I think, my highest rated tight end this week. If the questionable tag or the murkiness for one of the toughest guys in the league makes people want to jump off of him a little bit more all week, I think that's going to naturally happen. I would like it. If he does miss, it's probably Ayuk. I just like Ayuk in general right now. I don't know if he sees a major role increase, maybe like an extra target from this game. But yeah, I probably don't jump to Ross Dwelly. He had some opportunities last year, did nothing with them. I think it was 2019 where he had like one decent game based on a touchdown. So I don't feel the need to get there, but it's really Kittle. Like, if Kittle ends up playing through a doubtful tag or a highly questionable tag, I think I want to jump on it even more.
Pete, how about you and the Niners? It's a decent total game here, and I think one that's an interesting pivot is the other NFC West game that a lot of people will be targeting, with Arizona and the Rams. So you want to go to any Niners if Kittle does end up out?
Yeah, the thing that stinks about Kittle is people don't really want to play him right now in DFS in general, just because they're all spooked about the Niners. But it would normally, I think, present a really nice buy low spot. But when you combine the injury with how gross this tight end slate is, I think it is going to just pull a little bit more ownership up to him than usual. But I do want to leave myself out to get to this game because there also could be some news with the Seahawks. I haven't seen their practice report today. I know Lockett missed yesterday. DK Metcalf showed up on the injury report. We don't know. I don't know if we got confirmed that Gerald Everett is for sure out. So there's a lot of stuff going on here. So I definitely want to pick some spots, and I like Sal's call a lot. I think Brandon Ayuk at $1,500 cheaper than Deebo Samuel with a banged up Kittle is definitely the way to play this.
And then in that same game, Tyler Lockett didn't practice on Thursday with a hip issue. Seems like he's trending towards playing, though, but he also did reportedly twist his knee in that last game. So, Pete, kind of a murky situation with Lockett, though. Again, this game, I think, still appealing overall. Assuming that he does get in there, is it a Lockett or is it a Metcalf week? Because you know that on DK, people hate playing that guy that's got a Q tag right next to him.
Yeah, I mean, it's this. I'm curious with Sal's thoughts. I feel like this happens every week with the Vikings, that they're priced within a couple $100. The ownership is projecting similar. There's just hardly any way to break these ties here. I just want to try to be better at anticipating what the field is going to do. I mean, last week you could feel the field gravitating toward DK Metcalf. I'm going to guess that that's going to happen again just because tournament players in general prefer Metcalf. So I don't know. I can't guess who's going to perform better, but I can kind of guess who the field's going to like more. And I think Lockett might be the better play.
Sal, how are you feeling here with these two very qualified pass catchers, though one does seem like pretty banged up with Tyler Lockett and his various ailments?
Yeah, if it's not like a major difference in ownership, which I don't know how far off it would be, I think I'm going to go with DK, just 31% target share. This 49er secondary, it's like every second they're losing another body back there. Adams had that like massive 58% target share game. So DK Metcalf was running crazy routes the last 2 weeks, better than we've ever seen out of him, like middle of the field type routes and just demolishing guys. Now he's going to get backup players in this secondary. And when it comes to the eye test, like you put Tyler Lockett just standing next to DK Metcalf, I'm going to take the guy who's just absolutely loaded and probably has just a hammer.
Yeah. What kind of hammer are we talking about?
Rock arms, just loaded arms.
I wasn't clear which way we were going with that one. It feels like it's going against your new brand. Very family friendly.
No, don't fall for this, Sal. Spags is just so excited to have someone else be the one at risk of getting us canceled for once.
That's true. It's rare that it happens on the show. So
take it however you want. Take it however you want.
Actually, we could save this one. Lamar Jackson back at practice after back issues. Kept him out 2 days this week. Any concerns at all for you, Sal, with the back issues on a guy that does move around a lot and has also been throwing the ball downfield a lot more than I think people might realize, over 6 deep attempts per game so far this year?
Yeah, he's like all over the place, just insane in how he's playing right now. It's tough like to want to get to him this week, just where he's sandwiched in pricing on like the main slate. You're obviously starting him in season long leagues, so not much concerns unless something comes out late here. I don't think it changes too much. I don't think Bateman's going to be in this week. So for Lamar, you just play him in season long. For DFS, I don't usually get a lot for just stacking reasons. So I think the same thing's going to happen this week, priced up there by Allen, Mahomes, and Murray.
Pete, any fears for you with Lamar here, given the fact that we did see Marquise Brown? I think Marquise Brown may be an interesting buy low candidate after he disappointed everybody in a much easier matchup last week. But are you going to play any Lamar? I feel like that also is just a general tournament question.
Yeah, I think Lamar does set up as a really nice GPP option when you look at the other guys that have the huge ceiling: Josh Allen, Mahomes, Prescott, Hurts. Those guys are all going to be fairly popular. Just kind of when I did my first pass this morning, Lamar jumped out to me, Kyler Murray jumped out to me, and Russell Wilson as well. Though I talked to Drew Dinkmeyer earlier today, he's a little concerned about pace in that game and just Seattle slowing down recently. So maybe I'll get off that. But yeah, Lamar, I think is going to be a great GPP option.
And in the last injury here, that's going to be for Sunday Night Football. Gronk on track to play, but is a game time decision. Gio Bernard now out for Sunday night at the Patriots. 2 plays that could be interesting and have some ramifications for the showdown tournaments out there with the big money on top. Sal, do you care much about Gio being out? We've talked about him a little bit as a guy who's getting clearly a noteworthy pass catching role, especially last week with Antonio Brown not available, but Brown's back. I don't know. Does it matter too much to you?
Yeah, I think it matters for Showdown at least. I think Fournette's in like the 7K range on Showdown, might be 7,600. It just gives you more confidence in Fournette because he'll be out there in 2-minute drills. If they happen to get behind in this game, you saw Gio have the big week last week. I assume it's Fournette over Ojo. So I think it just gives me a little more confidence in Fournette. Maybe makes him a captain option for me now, when before that it would have been the receivers. But if we can ensure this, what does he have so far this year? 14 targets through 3 games. If we can ensure like a 4, 5, 6 target game, this makes me feel a little bit better about that.
Pete, how are you feeling about the Gio absence and I guess potential of Gronk being something that's going to be held up to the last minute?
Yeah, I mean, from what I was seeing, Gronk seemed like he was going to be fine. The Gio usage too was very specific to that being a close game. And I do think he was going to be a game script dependent play. So I don't know if it's going to affect them too much if they're able to have their way with New England, which I think they will be able to. So I definitely think that everything's pointing toward Fournette right now being the guy, almost game script dependent. I think there's scenarios where the Bucs are up big time, and that's when Rojo really starts to get fed. But I think in most outcomes, Fournette is who you want right now.
All right, so we are up at this time now. It is TikTok improv session, guys. So help us out by hitting that like button, whether you are watching on Peach channel live or watching on the Splash Play channel after the fact, or whatever you're doing. Just hit that like button, and of course, help us out on Apple Podcasts with 5 stars and a review for the Splash Play podcast. If you want to get yourself a guest spot on this show. But it's TikTok improv session time, and Sal Vetri is crushing on TikTok with over 50K followers in less than 6 months of posting on the regular. So we're going to take his lead and try to make some high quality TikToks live on this show. And Pete, we had some questions to ask too. So let's do that. Let's do the elevator pitch before we have to get into our game faces on for our best TikTok content.
Yeah, so I've been watching some of your TikToks, so I know kind of the general format that you do, but I was wondering if you could just, because I am about to improv one right here that I have already committed to posting no matter how well or how bad it is. So can you give me some tips, maybe some structure, some things that would work well? Because if I post this and I get, less than 200 views, I'm going to be distraught.
Yeah, I mean, I think a big part of it is watch time, like YouTube, but that hook, like that first 3 or 4 seconds, people are just scrolling on their phone. How can you make them stop? So in the editing process, that can help. But when you're talking, how can you immediately make them wonder something? So the first couple of words, like a salesy type thing, doesn't have to be a question, but it could be a question, just something flashy that immediately gets somebody to stop scrolling their finger. What is that? Editing is going to make it a lot easier with things moving, close-ups on you. But there's a couple things. Yeah, exactly. You can do your own movements, wearing colorful shirts. That's literally the reason I bought this type of shit. So that type of stuff is going to help. And yeah, I mean, just editing process will help a lot more. There's a couple of things, like ideally you wouldn't have to set it up this way, but if you can kind of do like a reveal at the end of a TikTok, it leads to higher watch time, which leads to more. It's not like the best in terms of trying to get the content across, but it's sort of like a toolbox strategy of like these types of videos can go for growth. But yeah, really trying to hook people in right away.
I noticed that with your TikTok, Sal, where it's like, it's not clickbait, because I think clickbait has this bad connotation of like, oh, you're not delivering on the promise. To me, clickbait's like a positive thing. Like you're enticing somebody to come in to hang out the most amount of time, and then the reveal, you drop it at the end. And I did notice that, and I was like, this fucking Sal. Like I sent it to Pete, I think, and actually sent it to my pal Josh Engelman at Osmo as well, just to be like, you got to see what Sal's doing, because we both have done shows with Sal. Love what he does. Sex sells with the colorful shirts, but the clickbaiting, yes, like you're really getting good at it, man. Like there's a sleight of hand that I think is a learned skill that you have learned about as well as anybody.
Yeah, it's definitely important. Like even on YouTube with thumbnails, like, and just titles, especially during like season long types of the year, DraftKings, it starts to become like the same stuff during the middle of the season for titles, but it's definitely a big part of it. It's like anything at this point. It's like clickbait, and then you'll grow a following based on if you're like true, honest, and transparent within the content and good. And if it's clickbait without that, well, then you probably won't grow a following. But yeah, I really don't like those formats on TikTok, but it is what it's what reaches the most people to bring them in. And then probably half the videos I make in a week are just more so like straight up a minute to 3 minutes of strategy, interesting like stats or usage and things like that. And people will watch that, not as much, but those people you hope then transfer over to YouTube, Twitter, and like actually become like diehard listeners or viewers.
There you go. So there's some actual information. Pete, how do you want to do this? Do we want to make Sal go first? Do you want to go first? I think we all have to do one, I think is the way it's going to have to
go. I don't mind going first here. Did we prep Sal for this? That is kind of rude for us.
I told Sal. I don't know if Sal actually put in the full work that he would do for a TikTok. I hope you didn't, for the sake of this show.
I got some stuff for you.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want me to try to go first, Spags, or do you want to go first?
I think let's do it. You go first. Sal can review them as we go. I think that seems fair.
Okay. And I mean, we're going to shoot for the 60-second version here, Sal.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. All right. What if I told you there were 3 running backs who are going to help you win $1 million on DraftKings this weekend? Would you want to stay to find out? I bet you would. Graphics. All right. This weekend on DraftKings, there are 3 running backs playing in the 4 p.m. slate who offer the perfect price-adjusted, ceiling-adjusted path to winning $1 million. First up, we have Eli Mitchell, who people might have forgotten about because Trey Sermon played last week and Mitchell wasn't there. Well, he is ready to ball out. Put him in your lineups. Win $1 million. Number 2, Darrell Henderson. Out of sight, out of mind last week, but he's back at practice and ready to leverage all of the Cooper Kupp ownership. And finally, if you're feeling truly spicy, Chase Edmonds is your path to becoming a millionaire. Don't even ask me why. Just put him in your lineup and ask questions later. I'm out.
Damn.
All right, Sal, what's the review here? What's the feedback that can make Pete better?
I mean, I was hooked in. I think that might be like my patented intro to it. What if I told you? I mean, like this is a 60 minutes. I'm trying to stay here for this, a 30 for 30 right now. So the intro was banging. The backwards hat with I assume on purpose the pink headphones to catch people's attention right away. Yeah, I mean, the lights in the background make me pause my finger. I had it there, and I was like, you know what? I might see what this guy's got to say. I mean, yeah, you smacked me with that one. It felt good.
I'm coming for you, Sal. I'm coming for you.
Yeah,
naturally a sweater, but now I'm just a river.
Share, which I'm sure, Sal, you didn't know you were going to come on the show and give Pete all the weapons to be the king of TikTok once more.
This is like when on Lulz, when I talked to Brian Hooper, and I'm always trying to pry information. He's like, I'm not worried about 99%. He's like, I'm worried about creating a monster that then can build a model that beats me. And Sal, you just created a monster.
That's a good point.
Coming for you.
Yes, I am soiling my pants.
So, all right, do we want Sal to break it up here? Because I'm terrified of going for mine. I have a bit in my mind, and I don't know if it's going to come out the way that I want. So I'm willing to let Sal go second.
People are trying to FUD my Elijah Mitchell. Guys, do I give a shit? I just got 1 million views on TikTok. Who gives a shit if he plays?
Yeah, it don't matter at this point. The video's out there. The views are registered.
All right, Sal, you go second. Show us how it's done, and then I'll try to not completely ruin it.
Alrighty, I'm gonna take a page out of Pete's book here, but all right, let's do this. What if I told you there was a podcast out there where one viewer each week and listener wins 1 million close-up dollars? Close-up. Well, there is. And it's hosted by two fellas. One who used to have, might still have a mean man bun. And the second one whose jokes kill so hard that he had to buy a Ford Bronco. So here's how you do it. Ready? You take step one. You open up your phone. Step two, your favorite podcast platform, Spotify, Apple, whatever it might be. Step three, you open up Splash Play Podcast. You put it in your earballs. You listen to it. You get schmacked with the facts. There you go. You're welcome.
Wow. A plug for Splash Play. A great TikTok in one. That's why Sal's the king.
So this is how I grade. I mean, A+ delivery, beautiful structure, hooked in. But I'm worried that your subject material is going to flop on TikTok there.
Yeah, that was mainly for the show.
Okay, all right. So you're saying you're not going to post this to your 60,000 TikTok followers?
No, I will. Yeah,
no, you how much? What are the rates? How much would you charge Splash Play for a TikTok ad?
I wouldn't charge you guys anything.
Wow.
That's what love is. Sal and I covered the XFL together. You can't, that's the payment that was.
We covered the XFL on Fridays for an hour and a half shows when like 7 people would watch.
But we made people so much money off of Cam Robinson? Who's the guy who was on the Roughnecks?
Can't even remember at this point. But what that did award us was knowing who Jockey's Patrick was last week. That's what we got. We just knew of him before other people got to go to Player Profiler.
All right, I guess it's my turn now. I'm terrified. I got a bit in mind. It's not going to work. Pete, you can see the joy in Pete's face here, knowing I'm going to fucking blow this. But
I love watching Spags have to improvise here.
Okay. What if I told you there's a player that everybody knows is trash? There's some guys out there, they have tiny helmets for him, but you know what? He has been absolute garbage. 4.3 targets per game, air yards of under 5, air yards per target. I mean, you wouldn't want this guy in a million years, right? But what if I told you he contributed to his teammate fracturing his ankle yesterday, and this guy's going to be relevant for the first time in his entire career, despite being basically a replacement player? Who is that guy? Comment, leave a like above here, and then also here is who it is. It's Laviska Shenault.
Spags, was that for TikTok or is that a private message to me?
I think a little bit of both. I think if you could scratch both with one, I think that's the move.
Sal, tell him why that was awful.
Yeah, look. All right. So it wasn't bad. I really do think the one thing that you could change. And there's two options here. One, we're going Wild West. You could just lose the shirt. But two, you can get a hot pink shirt, and I think that would help a lot more. So I think that's my advice. But, I mean, everything you said in there, honestly, you lost me halfway through, but it wasn't overall that bad.
I also feel like at some point Spags acted like he was like a clown entertainer for a child's birthday party. Like, who wants to play Laviska Shenault anymore?
Yeah. Yeah, I was... Yeah, I mean, look, overall first try, not bad. Live viewers too. I felt a little uncomfortable. I'm not.
That's tough.
Now you know how I feel every single show, Salad. I do 3 shows a week with this guy.
The nerve! You requested this, Pete. You're cashing in. Pete's sending invoices today that I'm forwarding along. So now you're part of the money train.
This is my improv class for the week. I'm not going this week.
Honestly, I might need to bring the money hats back for TikTok. Like I did abandon that bit because I felt like a tortured artist doing it at Osmo, but I think the money hats for TikTok might be the move.
I was trying to think of some props. I think I got some. I mean, I got this thick ass pumpkin here, but I didn't use it in my thing. So thick ass pumpkin season did not get to get used. So yeah, man,
Sal,
the props sell.
Where do you get of Twitter, TikTok, and YouTube, like combination of comment/DMs, which platform brings out the weirdest comments and replies?
The weirdest. I mean, my guess would be YouTube, but I have like 3 random people that do like moderating things, and I think they just mute all the weird ass ones because I haven't seen like an asshole comment in like 6 months. So I'm like, this can't be real. So those people just must be on SWAT patrol. But TikTok is like overwhelming right now. It's just like everybody asking, should they start DeAndre Hopkins or fucking Chester Rogers this week? I'm just like, just start. I mean, man, I don't answer most of them. If somebody says though, like, hey, it's never like, hey, I really like your content or something. It's just like straight up the question. If they say that, sometimes I'm like, on the bathroom, I'm just like, all right, we'll answer this guy right now. But yeah, that's probably where the weirdest ones come from. Twitter DMs, I guess they're just usually pretty normal. Like they're nothing crazy. It's like DFS based stuff. The weird ones are probably YouTube. I just don't see them. So that's the good thing.
Yeah.
Also, we got to shout out the YouTube chat. It's a star-studded YouTube chat today. We got John Kelly in there. We got Joe Holka as well.
Yeah, what's going on, Joe?
Lots of great names in there. We appreciate them watching. And, that's a testament to, I think, your guys' poll. And I'll take some of the credit, but it's mostly, I think, you two, if I have.
Yeah, they don't watch the show when it's just us two. Sal brought them all out tonight. Everyone's trying to get the alpha. Now you created monsters. John Kelly, Holka, everyone's coming for the TikTok throne, Sal.
I'm completely fucked. Why did I do this?
Oh, dude, you don't even know. I was sending people internally at the company I work for. I was sending them your TikTok yesterday. Like, this fucking guy figured it out. Like, we got to rip this off.
Yeah, I mean, Joe's in the chat. So did Joe. It's the same thing. It's going to be interesting to see like the next stage of it because something's going to change with TikTok. But I mean, it just might be that you can't reach people and your audience is your audience, which is fine if that's the case.
I'm gonna work out a ton and I'm gonna start doing your TikToks like word for word, but just with my shirt off. I think is how I add on to it.
Oiled up too, hopefully, like full Hulk Hogan in the 80s. Get a nice
get the thinnest stringer you can find out there and just wear that.
What if I told you I could get you ripped and win $1 million?
Hey, brother, if you want to get the best DFS plays, come to this TikTok right here.
The women in the wins. Oh yeah.
So let's get the show back on track. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. We also got a tweet, Pete, during the show. Somebody almost had to pull over their car while listening to the low probability crystal ball yesterday, which makes me feel good about feeling like an asshole doing that bit every week.
So apparently the people like it when we make a fool of ourselves. That's the common denominator here.
Who knew? So let's do the troll equity play of the week, where this is the play that's most likely to screw over a large portion of fantasy players' preconceived notions of success this upcoming week 4. And Pete, you know the troll plays as well as anybody. So what's something you think that everybody's expecting that's going to happen that's not going to happen here in this weekend?
All right. So I feel like the ultimate troll now is just people are just assuming that Cooper Kupp puts up 30 points every single week. Was that yours, Sal?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. No, I'll do a different one. I'll do a different one.
I got another one.
All right. I don't like stealing the guess one here. Yeah. So Cooper Kupp every week, his price goes up, his ownership goes up. One of these days, and I'm going to say this Sunday, it's Van Jefferson, 2-touchdown game. Cooper Kupp finishes with 4 for 53. Robert Woods has an end around touchdown. Tyler Higbee gets a direct snap that he rushes in. Cooper Kupp, I call him Cooper Cucked on Sunday. I just came up with that literally on the fly. I promise I didn't write that.
All right, Sal, what's the one that you have here?
All right. Yeah. So it was Cooper Kupp. So now we're going to have to improv again.
You got Cooper Kupp, it sounds like.
Son of a bitch. I didn't know I signed up for an improv show today, but I'm going to go with DJ Moore. I think he might be, if it's not Cooper Kupp, I think DJ Moore might be the highest owned wide receiver this week. Obviously in primetime game Thursday night, has a great game. Now you're going to get put into a spot where maybe it's the best stacking situation. But there's some squeaky Neal narrative with Robbie Anderson, who's cheaper there. So I'm not shocked. And in my Dallas stacks, I'm running it back with preferably Robbie Anderson this week. Save money, get lower ownership on him. Then a 20%, maybe even higher percentage on DJ Moore this week. So I think that's the person who might ruin a lot of those Dallas, Carolina stacks for people, or even one-off situations in the mid 6K price range. So I'll jump off the DJ Moore train and get more of Robbie Anderson.
Okay. Or more Chuba Hubbard, too. He's looking under 10% owned as well, and it does seem like he'll be much less chalky, and that's pretty
and the other thing with Cooper Kupp is, like, I think Steph Diggs might be like 6% owned this week, and he's just going to be in a blow-up spot with the usage he's seeing against the Texans. So, like, that's where a direct pivot comes from. I think he's cheaper, too.
I think Chuba is going to end up being fairly popular.
Okay. I just know Awesome has him real low. I think the price tag being like he's not at the 4K. Normally these guys would end up being for that first run, which is kind of tough, but I don't know. Curious to see how the field handles it. For me, my troll play is just, I think this Arizona Rams game, I kind of hinted at it with the Seattle games, that I think that's the better NFC West game to target. The Edge Sports lines here, again, go to edjsports.com to check them out. They run 100,000 game simulations for each game with the best model out there. They have the line here as being more close to a 43-point over-under, and the field right now is expecting a 54.5 point over-under with the Vegas books. And I think this could be a game that ends up more of a slog, more of a defensive matchup, more of one where you don't see the outlier games from Kupp or Hopkins or really anybody that we're expecting to have them. So maybe go with the running backs a little more, or just go to the Seattle game, Seattle-San Francisco game as your game stack of choice. But to me, I just think that game being flat, it's a really big discrepancy. An 11-point discrepancy in the lines really scares me. All right, let's keep it going here. We got the ride or die picks, and Pete, as is always the case here, I'll let you slate it up because you are leading on the year right now. But Sal is one of our really a tournament of champions return for him here because I think he was our best guest last year. It was either him or Arif, if we're remembering correctly. Pete's disappearing to hide his shame during the ride or die picks. That's normally what he's subjected to. But Pete, tell people the rules out there.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with my camera today. It's struggling. The rules are we are going to go game by game. We're each going to give a hot take from the game. It could be sports betting, prop bet, fantasy points, in a Millie Maker lineup, anything. And then you are rewarded based on how aggressive you are. So if it's a moonshot, unlikely chance of happening, you get 10 points. If it's aggressive, but still likely, maybe a 33% chance around there, then you're looking at a 3-pointer. And then, of course, if you just go for kind of a layup, taking a spread bet, taking a guy to go slightly over his projection, that's a 1-pointer. And of course, we are the judge, jury, and executioner of these pitches. And I believe, Spags, the new meta of this game is we negotiate these lines. So that's the new angle. And Sal, you're already a pro at this, though.
Yeah, I got my trophy from last year right here. So I'm ready to roll for round 2.
Is that
Willis, our accountant, pointing out that Sal was in fact the best last year, so I wasn't even as close as I thought it was, I guess. So kudos to Arif, but he's a distant second behind our boy Sal.
Is that a mini trophy to go with your mini helmets?
Yeah, this is a mini trophy that I got. I mean, you guys sent it to me, but yeah, I mean, first place trophy, we'll still take it.
Mini Sal just wants to look like a giant. He's got only mini items next to him.
mini plant. Yeah,
that's why you're really on TikTok.
I mean, the biggest secret of TikTok is
all these items.
Yeah, the biggest secret of TikTok is I put all this small shit around me so that my head looks gigantic. So the comments, it fuels the algorithm of this guy's head looks gigantic.
That is what they say though about actors. A lot of actors have big heads. Something about it works better on camera. Keep that in mind if you're raising a child. Give them a big head.
There we go.
All right, let's start with the game by game here. First one up, Kansas City 30.5 implied points. Philadelphia 23.5 implied points. The books have Kansas City as a 7-point favorite. Edge Sports has it closer to a 3-point line, so they're expecting this to be more of a shootout here between the Eagles and the Chiefs. Sal, you're the guest, so we'll let you go first here. Whatever you want is a ride or die pick.
Yeah, ride or die pick. This one's an interesting game. I will take on the Eagles side of this one for Jalen Hurts to outscore Patrick Mahomes. I'm not sure what I get for that, but that is the one that I'm looking at.
That's a solid 3-pointer.
I'll take it.
I think so. You could make a case it's a 4 or 5-pointer, but we don't have those here, Sal.
Yeah, I'm seeing projection 25.8, Mahomes, Hurts 23.1. I think that's a 3-pointer.
Yep.
All right. We'll take it.
Fair. All right, Pete, what do you want?
Let's try to get something fun here. Would you give me a 2-pointer if the 2 highest scoring performers in this game across all positions were Eagles?
A 2-pointer? Yeah, I'll give you a 2-pointer.
A 10-pointer. Sorry.
So
it would have to be like Hurts and Devonta Smith are number 1 and 2 over Mahomes, over Tyreek Hill and Kelsey. Like a Chief can't sneak into the top 2 scores on the game.
I think that's fair. I think it's a 10-pointer.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me, I will take Tyreek Hill, top scoring wide receiver on the slate. Is that a 10?
On the slate, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think Kelsey's actually projected ahead of him on the team, but yeah, I think he's the top guy on the slate. For the logic out there that people know, I mentioned on yesterday's show, I did add man and zone coverage stats to my thing. So I'm now looking at an extra small sample size and thinking that Tyreek looks pretty good against zone defense. So that's my logic for that one. Next game up, we got the Giants getting 17.5 implied points. Nolan's getting 24.5 implied points. Spread in this one is 7. According to the Edge Sports line, it is also 7. Also pretty close on the over-under here. A low over-under of 42 for the books. Edge has it at 43. Pete, what do you want first here in this possibly very ugly game, given that we are missing some receivers and New Orleans has looked like trash?
Yeah, this is pretty gross. How many DraftKings points does Colin Johnson need to have for me to get 3 points?
12? Sal, what do you think?
I was going to say like 8.5 is a line. That's just like the first number that came to my mind.
Yeah, I'll take 8.5. Deal.
So you're just negotiating with a thought really there. The concept. All right. For me, then I guess I got to take the leverage. I'll take, what is it?
You don't even know the guy that you're trying to leverage?
No, I was going to say, well, what's the amount? Kadarius Toney, if he gets over, I guess over that same line, is that a 10-pointer?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take that.
Yeah, because I think they're going to project similarly.
Okay. Sal, what do you want?
Well, what about Evan Ingram with the same line?
you're definitely getting it in. I mean, his projection I'm seeing is 8.7.
All right. What do I need for Evan Ingram to be a 7 or 10 pointer? 15? A touchdown?
For a 3, I would say I'd set it at 12.
I think that's
All
reasonable.
right. Is anytime touchdown score also a 3?
Anytime touchdown score. So that one is going to fall in that like 6-7 range. But just for the people at home, we do not have those points as options. The question is, Spags, would we give a guest roundup because he's going to do a TikTok promo for us?
I think if that's the bargain here, like, yeah, if that's the insertion order is what they call that in the ad business, then yeah, I think we can give it that way.
Yeah.
All right. I'll take the 12 points in the 3-pointer.
Speaking of improv shows, the points on this are like on Whose Line Is It Anyways? They don't matter.
Oh,
You get a
that's
trophy.
true. No, I mean, I think they matter spiritually, and then they do
Yeah.
matter for Sal's trophy that he uses to look like a 7'7" man.
That's true.
So that's what matters the most. All right, next game up, we got also worth pointing out, which I'm just seeing on my sheet. None of the Giants playing as a pass catcher in this game, assuming Slayton and Shepard are out, have caught a passing touchdown this year. So that's
Not great, Bob.
but they're due. So that's the other side of it. Next game up, we got Tennessee getting 25.5 implied points. The Jets getting 19 implied points. This is one there was a big discrepancy with the books line and the Edge Sports line. Books have it as -7. Edge Sports has it as -2. The over-under this one, also they have closer to 36 compared to the books, 44.5. So could be a bit of a slog if we're to go to that one. And for me, that means that I will take Derrick Henry as a #1 overall running back on the slate. Pete, is that a 10-pointer or is that not quite enough?
No, I give you the 10-pointer. There's just so many players on a slate that that's still, even if he has the best odds of doing it, which I think he does, it's still at what, probably going to top off at like 11 or 12% chance.
Yeah.
So that's a 10-pointer.
All right, Sal, what do you want in this game?
I'll take the Jets to win.
Ooh, what's that line, Sal?
It was 7.5 to open the week. I don't know if it's still there.
It was at 7 the last I pulled this morning, and it looks like it's a plus 250 money line for the Jets. So
that's a 3-pointer, right, Spags?
Yeah, I think it's a 3.
All right. Do I get 10 points if Corey Davis outscores Derrick Henry?
Yes.
Okay. I'll
the
take
saddest 10 points. I think that would be.
Revenge game leverage. Oh, it all adds up right there.
Yeah, the great correlation play by Pete more than anything.
Thank you.
Next game up, Carolina 23.8 implied points, Dallas 27.8 implied points. Edge Sports has this one as -6 compared to -4 for the book, so a little more shade going towards Dallas's way for them. In this spot, Sal, who do you want between Carolina and Dallas? Given that, I guess you've already kind of given some takes here.
Yeah, I think there's really good leverage plays. I think Robbie Anderson will be a good leverage play. I think Zeke's going to be a great leverage play. So what do I get? I don't know if I want to do both of those. I'm trying to do something of Zeke, the highest scoring player on the Cowboys, and Anderson, the highest scoring on the Panthers. If both of those, that's like a parlay.
That's a parlay. That's a 10-pointer as a parlay.
That's a 10-pointer for sure.
All right, I'm taking a lot of risks here. I'll do that one. Yeah, I'll do that one.
Yeah, we're getting Sal uncomfortable. That trophy might not be coming back with the way.
No, I gotta discount double check this belt. I can't be losing.
And
Pete, what
that's
do you want?
just to make that a little more likely. That'll be skill position, quarterbacks not included, correct?
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. I feel like I need to get some DJ Moore exposure because I love him and I probably won't be able to play him in DFS this week. So let's say DJ Moore. Will you give me 3 points if he outscores both CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper?
How many points did you want on that one?
3.
3? Yeah, for 3, that's fine. I thought for 10, that did not seem fine.
No. It's a 3-pointer.
All right. I'm sticking with my strategy at 10s here. I'm going to say Robbie Anderson doubles up DJ Moore in fantasy points scored. Is that a 10?
Doubles up? Yeah.
Yep. Okay. There we
All
go.
right.
Splash Play Bob needs to stop fucking sucking. He has not been very good this year, but he's due. I think, again, another guy.
Can I just pause here and say how incredible it is that we've converted Spags into a 10-point maxi. You were the biggest nit last year. Like all of yours were 1-pointers, and now you're just going balls to the wall.
This is the 3-pointer and dunks NBA. It's taken over here.
Yeah. I think initially I cared more about giving practical advice. Now it's just like Pete and I have made this into Pee-wee's Funhouse, and we just have to we're giving good data. We're giving you guys the best takes we can, and these hot takes do come from a genesis of somewhere. But I think we certainly embraced our Skip Bayless's. I think with this
The best part is when they're posted on Sunday mornings. Like now it's all fun and games. And then Sunday, all the news settles, all the dust. God damn it. There goes my camera again. And then people on Twitter are like, what are these predictions? These look horrendous.
Yeah.
It's like one of those like I don't want to make a gross joke for any gender. Last call at the bar and you wake up and you're like, oh, this was a bad choice. And I feel like that's what our picks are.
There it is. Our new segment, Spags Flies Too Close to the Sun, brought to you by Football Outsiders.
I said any gender. Oh, Sal disappeared. It's okay. That was a deliberate one.
He's out of here.
All right, next, let's get back on track. Next game up, and footballoutsiders.com/subscribe. Go there, $5 a month. Packages will help make you make better choices so you won't have that feeling on your Sunday mornings. Indianapolis, 20.5 implied points. Miami, 22 implied points. Spread here is -2 with the books. Edge Sports line at -3, so not much of a difference there. And I said this one on the other show, so I'm going to take this one first. Dolphins at my millionaire maker winning defense this week is my pick because they blitz 40% of the time. And Carson Wentz, you guys may not know this, not very good when there's anybody nearby him. So that's my pick here. Pete, what do you want?
Yeah, that's a good one. Let's go with would you give me Mike let's go with, I want to match your Millie Maker one. I'm going to say Mike Gesicki in the winning Millie Maker lineup.
Okay, so 2 10-pointers here from the Dolphins. No way that could go wrong, Pete, I'd say.
No.
Sal, how about you?
I'll take Pittman in the millionaire maker lineup.
What if we all get 10 pointers and it's just a game
stack? Yeah. That's the way it goes.
I hope somebody out there plays that lineup. I don't know if it's going to be one of us.
No, yeah. do as we say, not as we do, please.
Next game up, we got Washington getting 24.5 implied points, going up against Atlanta, 23 implied points. The line for this one does look like it's 2 points favoring Washington according to the books. It's 1 point favoring Washington on the road according to Edge Sports, so not much of a difference there. And Sal, you are due to go first. Take what you want.
Yeah, what do I get if Ridley, including quarterbacks, is the highest scoring player in the game? Seems obvious, but
I'd say that's a 3-pointer.
Okay.
All right,
I honestly might have given 10 and rounded up a little because I feel like that's like a 6.5.
No, but I'm seeing he has the second highest projection of any player, only second to Heineke.
Also, okay, yeah, no, that's fair. I'm looking at Osmo has Heineke projected for 21 fantasy points, which
ETR has him for 20.2.
Heineke. Okay. Well, I mean, I'll take my pick then. I like Terry McLaurin. I don't know that I want to keep declaring guys to be in a millionaire maker winning lineup, but Terry McLaurin, come on down. Join the Miami Dolphins defense for a 10-pointer and being in the millionaire maker winning lineup.
I will. Let's see. Would I get 3 points if Kyle Pitts outscores Antonio Gibson?
Give me one more guy and I'll give it to you.
What do you mean? One more guy to outscore?
No, one more guy that he's outscoring that's of note.
Oh, I don't know if I want to make this a 2-leg parlay. Outscores Mike Davis.
Oh, I'll allow it.
So you're saying for 3-pointers, he has to outscore 2 guys that he's projected for less fantasy points? That doesn't seem fair.
You're right. It doesn't, Pete.
Yeah.
Negotiation got tougher in this round.
You get to pick which one is the 3-pointer. Mike Davis, he outscores.
Are we confident Gibson's going to play? Is the one thing I'm just like, because that's the thing for me that I just
all right. So I have an alternate.
Yeah.
You pick Gibson, and if Gibson's out, he has to outscore Mike Davis.
Okay, fine. God, that's an easy one to outscore Mike Davis. Darrell Patterson's doing it.
You spent all offseason touting him, and now he's not even going to outscore Kyle Pitts. He's just
I get hurt easily, Pete. I think you know that. Doing the show together for a year. Next game up, Houston getting 15 implied points. Buffalo 32 implied points. The line is 17 in this one. Edge Sports does have it closer to 13, so you get some value there, I suppose. Sal went first on that one. Pete, you can go first here. What do you want in this game that is looking like a bloodbath according to Vegas?
I will do what was the one last week I did, Spags, where it was 5 point scores were all the highest from one team?
Oh, that was the Broncos-Jets game, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to do that again. All 5 of the top scores are Bills players. That means not even Brandon Cooks or David Mills, the quarterback, sneak into the top 5.
Or Davis Mills even.
I keep saying David Mills.
Sal, what do you want in this game? Do you want David Mills too? If you want him, please go ahead.
No, don't want him. I will take Stephon Diggs in the millionaire maker lineup.
Okay. He is so due, and I can tell you I'm not going to have as much of him as I've had the first 3 weeks of the season. So by that corollary, Sal, I think you can pencil that in for 10 points now. For me, I will say, all right, this is too risky, but Zach Moss, okay, outscores Singletary. Is that a 3-pointer? That's probably a 3-pointer, right?
Yeah, barely.
I'll take my 1 3-pointer here being that one.
Net.
Yeah, that's you can't have it both ways, Pete.
Yes, I can. That's what I've done all my life, Spag.
Detroit 19.5 and I won't read any more into that. Detroit 19.5 implied points. Chicago 22 implied points. We don't know who's starting at QB yet for Chicago. Andy Dalton limited in practice, not ruled out yet, so keep an eye on that one. And I guess I'm due to go first in this one, and I will say, God, I really wish we knew that it was Justin Fields. Whoever is at QB for Chicago, so hopefully this makes it a 10-pointer, will throw for over 2.5 passing touchdowns. Pete, is that a 10-pointer?
Say that again.
Whoever starts at QB for Chicago will throw for over 2.5 passing touchdowns.
That's a 3-pointer. 3 passing touchdowns.
What if it went to 3.5? So like we're saying they have to get 4 or more.
I would say, I would say that's a 10-pointer. What do you think, Sal? 4 passing touchdowns for either of these guys?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what happens if 3 guys come in and they throw for 4 combined?
No, 1 player only.
1 guy?
Yeah.
I think that's
I'll take it. Over 3.5 touchdowns for whoever's at QB for Chicago. Sal, what do you want?
Well, I wanted to take the Lions money line, but it's gone from +3 lines to now 1.5 point favorites. Like that's some massive line. Yeah, it opened at +3. I took it at +3, but I didn't. I'm just looking now, and now it's -1, -1.5. So I'm not touching that. I'll go with DeAndre Swift to outscore the combination of the Bears backfield. Is that 10? Him on his own to outscore Montgomery plus whoever else they give the ball to, Damian Williams?
I think based on projections, that's probably fair.
I think that, I'm good with that.
Especially because you have Jamal Williams there taking some amount away too. So yeah, that's a reasonable one. Pete, what do you want?
All right. I want to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to say, can I get 10 points if Justin Fields isn't in the winning Millie Maker lineup, but is in the second place lineup?
That's oddly specific in a way that I would give it to you.
Thank you.
But it can't be like third. It's going to be second.
No. Okay. I'm changing it. He is in any of the even numbers within the top 100. We're paying Willis now. He can go through and look at that.
Fucking poor. That's true. We're paying Willis, so he just make him do needless grunt work.
No. All right. No, this is so stupid. Just throw that out. I'll take. I want a 3-pointer on TJ Hawkinson to outscore David Montgomery.
Okay. I think that's a 3-pointer. That's a perfectly fair one. Next game up, we got Arizona getting 25 implied points. The Rams getting 29.5 implied points. Warned about this one earlier. Edge Sports has it as a 43-point over-under. Books have it as a 54.5-point over-under. So we'll see which side wins that one. Sal, you can go first on this one with the Cardinals and the Rams.
Yeah, this one's an interesting one. I'll take Matthew Stafford to not finish as a top 10 scoring QB.
I like that pick. I mean, based on the line, I think that's a reasonable one.
Yeah. What is he projecting as? He's like 7th?
If we're doing just the main slate, he's probably somewhere between, like, depending on where you look, 5 and 7. I have him on the main slate as 6.
All right, so that's a 3-pointer.
Sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Pete, you can go second.
Man, let's go against Cooper Kupp here. I'll say Rondell Moore. How many points do I get if Rondell Moore outscores Cooper Kupp?
That's 10.
That's got to be 10.
I will say that, okay, so Darrell Henderson or Sony Michel outscores every single Cardinals wide receiver. Is that 10?
No.
Darrell
Henderson's projection is 14.2. Hopkins is the highest at 16.6. It would be a 3-pointer.
What about every Cardinals player besides Kyler Murray?
No. Oh, every Cardinals player. Okay, so jumping, yeah, I'll allow that.
Okay, so there you go. I'm back in the Rams running backs, getting some leverage on Cooper Kupp. Yeah, we're We're killing it here. Seattle, 24.5 implied points. Pete disappearing. San Francisco, 27.5 implied points. Oh, when we were going, oh, you use Logitech too. I didn't know that.
Let's not talk about it.
Do you use Logic Capture, Sal?
I did, like, I would say a couple months ago, I used the Logitech webcams. I don't know if I use, like, that's whatever their device is, right?
Whoa.
Logic Capture.
Oh,
Wow.
Okay,
How did you
we're
get
going
that
to
view?
Different angle, Pete.
Like that.
This is my other monitor here. I'm so sick. I don't know what's going on with my computer.
Your
today.
posture looks terrible, I have to say.
Yeah, don't judge me from my side view.
You're just also frozen too, so like it's
Yeah,
not.
the camera angle's not great.
Don't use that on TikTok. I'll tell you. All right, he's coming back. I'll slate the next game. Seattle 24. Sal, aren't you happy to be a part of this professional production we have with Pete disappearing left and right and me just rambling?
This is my favorite podcast. Yeah, I'm not even kidding.
I know. Hey, look, that's why you show up for free. You give us free TikTok promo. That's all we ask.
Yeah.
Seattle, 24.5 implied points. San Francisco, 27.5 implied points. Over on this one, according to the books, 52. Edge Sports has it at 56. So that's why I'm considering it a pivot point to that other NFC West game. And Sal, I'll let you go first, and we'll hope that Pete comes back at some point.
Yeah, there's really good plays. Like, I mean, Ayuk and then DK on the other side. I almost want to take DK in a Million Maker lineup and just hope that one of them hits so I get a 10 points. Since I got Diggs in there, it's tough for both of that to happen. Something with Metcalf or Ayuk. Let's go with Brandon Ayuk being the highest scoring wide receiver in this game.
I was thinking that one, so I will say that's a great pick, Sal, and I will go instead with, all right, Pete coming back.
Hey.
Is this option number 3 or 4?
I'm on my phone.
So this is we're filleting Pete camera is what. So
You like this?
These angles.
You like this angle?
Yeah.
Yes, the upshot
You
is
gotta
perfect.
shoot down. I mean, professional. Like, look there. Look how handsome this guy looks. Now that's too far down. Now we're
Keep going.
all right. Pete. We're on Seattle, San Francisco. Since you're going through all this effort, I'll let you make the next pick.
Seattle, San Francisco. Am I first, or has someone already taken off?
Sal already picked Brandon Ayuk being top pass catcher.
Okay. I will take. How many points do I get for Elijah Mitchell? Oh no, he's questionable. I can't do that. Let's say. How many points do I get for Will Dissly, top 5 scoring tight end on the slate?
That's a 10, I would think. Sal.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say so. I mean, he's probably projected for like 6 points. He's probably in a wasteland of like tight end 10 to 15.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So, all right. 10 points for Pete.
What do I get for the Ayuk? Is the Ayuk a 10?
Yeah, the Ayuk's a 10, I think.
All right. Yeah, I guess just 10 balls is the way to go. Hope you hit 2 or 3.
Yeah, honestly, it feels that way, Sal. And then you realize that when you were playing it like you have this game and I played last year where you're getting some 3s and 1s, ends up being the better, more plus EV approach over time.
Yeah,
but it
probably
feels good getting the 10s out there. And speaking in that mindset, my 10-pointer will be, okay, this is a stupid one. Freddie Swain outscores every San Francisco wide receiver. Pete, is that a 10?
Yes.
Cozy Pete, honestly.
Give him a 50 if it counts, because that's going to be a straight 0.
I don't think it's a great one, Sal, but maybe Lockett's banged up. Maybe that knee's not, I don't know.
That is very cool.
Here. Pete's throwing me off with that, as is always the case on Ride or Die picks. Baltimore, 23 implied points. Denver, 22 implied points. Line on this one is +1 for Denver. Edge Sports has it as -3 for Denver, so some value there. And I will go first and take Melvin Gordon, 100 yards and a touchdown. Pete, is that a 10?
All right, we're back to doing bits.
So that's a 10 then, it sounds like, for Pete.
What did you say, 100 yards and a touchdown?
Yeah.
Rushing yards or combined yardage?
Combined.
Sal?
Combined yardage, 100 yards and a touchdown. For Melvin Gordon, I'd say it's not a 10.
That's not a 10. You got to go 100 yards rushing.
I think his
100
props
yards
are in like
rushing and a touchdown.
the upper
Fine,
70s.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
All right, that's
100
10.
yards rushing, that's a 10.
All right, Cozy Pete, what do you want?
I will take. Who are the Broncos playing?
The Ravens. It's
Baltimore.
literally, it's like the most forgettable game.
You guys see how exposed I am when I don't have my spreadsheet up next to me?
Yeah.
Let's call it Marquise Brown redemption week. He ends up in the winning Millie Maker lineup after burning everyone last week.
I hate how much I love some of your picks this week, Pete. Sal, what do you want out of this one?
All right, Cortland Sutton, I'm getting up his prop right now. I'm pretty sure it's in the 60s. How much yards does he have to have for it to be a 10?
125.
What's his projection? What is probably projected like? I'd say Sutton over 100 yards is a 10-pointer.
Yeah, Cortland Sutton. It depends on where you look. It's in like the mid 60s, upper 60s.
100 is a big number.
I'll give 100. All
right, I'll take that.
Okay, I would have liked 125, but Pete's too cozy to push back now. He's
125 is like, that's more like the Tyreek Hill Diggs line.
All right, fine, that's fair. We got one more game on the main slate here. Then we got Sunday Night Football, the big one. Pittsburgh 19.5 implied points. Green Bay 26 implied points. How far the Steelers have fallen here? -7 according to the books, -5 according to Edge Sports, favoring Green Bay. And Sal, you can go first here with your beloved Packers and their tiny helmets.
Yes. All right. We're going to go Devontae Adams in the Millionaire Maker winning lineup. So for those keeping track at home, Michael Pittman, Diggs, and Devontae Adams if you were trying to become a millionaire.
All right, Pete, you're moving around. What's
you son of a bitch.
Not all of it. You're not the only one with Green Bay Packers props. So.
You son of
a... the ducky's pretty cute. Do you have other rubber duckies or only the Packers rubber ducky?
I think I only have I do have a Tennessee Titans gnome.
This is incredible. You got
I also have these plush doll. I have a Philip Rivers plush doll.
Hopefully with like 15 plush doll children.
You're the reason he was throwing all those interceptions?
I have a mug that can get you canceled. Can't have this mug around anymore.
Bright red too.
Blur that out on the editing, please.
All right. I'm not letting you sickos see into my life anymore.
All right, Pete, what do you want with Green Bay and Pittsburgh?
I was just trying to buy myself time when I thought of a good one. Let's do Chase Claypool, highest scoring non-QB in the game.
Okay. I will take actually no, what's the points on that one? That's gotta be a 10 because you have Devontae Adams.
Yeah, Devontae, Jones.
Yeah, and Jones.
Deontay should play. Yeah, I'd take 10.
All right. So for me, I will take Najee Harris again, notches over 15 targets. Is that a 10?
I'd say so.
Wait, did we do the Minnesota-Cleveland game?
I think we did.
I don't remember it.
I don't remember it.
Did I skip it somehow? Okay, maybe we did.
Yeah, OG Genius had this comment, and then, man,
right,
we'll
go back to it. Let's finish this one. We'll go back to that one. My bad. I was trying to make time here. There's been a lot of variables, Pete, coming, but I will take in there. It's okay. So we're saying that. Are you in agreement, Pete, that Najee Harris 15 targets or more is a 10-pointer?
15 targets, yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go back Minnesota, Cleveland. Then we'll do Sunday Night Football. This one for me is obvious. I said it earlier in the week. I stand by it. Odell Beckham, Millionaire Maker, winning wide receiver. 10. Sal?
Yeah, I like that. Mine was going to probably be centered around Odell. I'm trying to think if there's anything on Minnesota that looks good. What's the line for Jefferson 10-pointer for yards? Is he a 125?
He might be.
He's like a 117 and a half.
I'll take the over 117 and a half on Jefferson.
All right, Pete, what do you want here?
I just want to know that I'm on my phone. I'm keeping track of the show sheet, things you're missing. I'm giving a tour of my house. I mean, this is a tour de force performance right now, Spags, and I'm incredibly comfy while doing it.
Honestly, the views have been going up since you've been moving around. So maybe we just need to do Cozy Pete shows.
We need to show more of our houses and where we live to all these.
Yeah, you guys want a tour of the bathroom down here or what?
Take us to where magic happens, the bathroom.
Actually, OG Genius, yes, someone is keeping track of it. Willis, he cleans up all of our mess.
Mm-hmm. All right, make your pick, Pete.
All right, you know what? I just want, how many, is it just a 1-pointer to say Justin Jefferson outscores Odell Beckham? I just kind of want a cheeky 1-pointer.
Yeah, it's a 1-pointer.
Thank you.
Okay. That's fine. And then the Sunday Night Football. Now, hopefully I didn't miss any others. Tampa Bay, 28 implied points. New England, 21 implied points. Books have this as -7 for, -7 for Tampa Bay. Edge Sports has it as -3, though they also have it being a much lower over-under 41 points compared to 49. So keep that in mind for your showdown lineups. And Sal, the move is to take a showdown captain here for an easy 10 points. So who do you want as your showdown captain? Or if you want to take another bet, you can.
Yeah, I was looking at the pricing of this earlier. I mean, there's some wide receivers that look real good for captains, like Antonio Brown, things like that. But we're going to go with Leonard Fournette in the captain spot. Leonard Fournette, no Gio Bernard. Fournette finally gets his first touchdown of the year. Sees 6, 7, 8, bunch of schmacks in the face for his targets. We're going to go Leonard Fournette, captain.
All right, there you go. So that's a brave one. And poor Pat Corain, but just crying somewhere here in that one or knowing it happened in the universe. Pete, what do you want?
Yeah, I am away from my computer. Can you look? Did Brady used to play for the Patriots?
I think briefly. There was a brief stint there.
Okay,
Went to a game in college. Yeah, something like that.
If that does check out, I believe that would be a revenge game. So I'll say Tom Brady winning captain lineup.
Okay, hot take. I will say for me, I'll go hotter. Nelson Aguilar, showdown winning captain after having 175 air yards last week. This time it pays off and it's personal. Sal, give people the plugs here, and then Pete, I don't know how we're gonna do the drawing because you're not at your computer, so I don't know, we'll do it some other way. But Sal, people should be following you at Sal Vetri DFS on Twitter. They should be following you on TikTok at Sal Vetri. They should click the link on Pete's description here or on the title actually to go to Sal's channel and subscribe. Does that cover it all, Sal, or are there more plugs that we can get?
Yeah, I mean, that's everything. If you go to Twitter, that'll link it to anything else if you're interested. Yeah, that's about it. It's about it. Make sure now that it's October to get your thick ass pumpkins because it's thick ass pumpkin season, 2 C's. So just make sure to get that.
I really didn't know where you were going to go with it when you said thick ass. I was like, holy cow, this could be anything.
Pumpkin.
All right, Sal, we'll let you jump off and we'll figure out a way to randomize a winner here for our guests. But we appreciate you doing the show, Sal, and giving so many great pointers and being a friend, too. I appreciate you, buddy.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, fellas. I'll see you when I see you.
All right.
All right. See you, Sal. Thank you, buddy.
Go follow at Sal Vetri DFS on Twitter. Follow at Sal Vetri on TikTok. And he is doing a lot of great content and really, one of the sharpest guys out there for the new stuff. And Pete, how should we do this randomizer drawing to get a new guest into the ecosystem for next week's shows?
Do you have the CSV?
I do somewhere. I can also just pull it from the thing and just kind of go randomly.
I want to talk you through how to pull this up on your computer and do screen
I don't
share.
think we have time for that, Pete. I have a hair appointment.
I got my haircut yesterday too.
Yeah, this is my first post-COVID haircut. I've been doing it myself because I'm a bum and who am I trying to impress? I
actually heard that that's actually pretty common that when you do a bunch of podcasts together, your haircut schedule syncs up.
That's one of the things they say only about male podcasters, so not about female ones.
Yeah, no, it's just males.
I don't know. I can just kind of go like scroll up and down and then just point my finger at something and pick someone.
Yeah, I love that. This is the most DIY version of the show we've ever had.
All right, so here I'm scrolling up and down. It could be one of my pseudonyms, could be my girlfriend's pseudonym, could be I don't think Pete cared enough to give us pseudonyms, but my eyes are closed and I'm picking I picked fucking Zach Berg again.
No, redo.
Okay, so
we love you, Zach, but we need new fresh meat.
All right, and by the way, this is for a golden ticket to appear on Splash Play. So if you enjoyed this show, make sure to give us 5 stars and review an Apple Podcast so you could be part of this glorious process. All right. I picked Paul Adair. Paul Adair, who is I
know Paul. Yeah.
So there you go. So Paul Adair is our one. Should I pick a second one just in case?
Let's not shout out extra names on the show because then everyone just thinks they're. No, you can. No, we can do
tickets.
No, I know Paul's in the Discord, and I message with Paul, so I can check in with him.
All right, so Paul Adair will be on joining us in our guest spot next Thursday. Yesterday, we had our 2 first ones, Rupesh and Zach Berg, who were fantastic on the show. So hopefully we'll keep that going. But if you want to be a part of the show on Thursdays, we have, as you can tell, we have some fun around here. I feel like Michael Scott saying that, but please give us 5 stars and a review on Apple Podcasts. Make sure to follow at Peter Overzet, follow at Chris Spags as well, and follow at Splash Play Pod because we are following all of you back on Twitter and Instagram because we care that much. Pete, what are the final plugs on this marathon journey of a show?
Yeah, I think I'm going to actually start doing the show like this all the time. I'm thinking about all the things I could do. I could go for a walk and be producing this show. I could go to the grocery store and be doing this show. I think I'm looking forward to this new version where I do Splash Play on the go.
I mean, honestly, it worked better than I would have thought. I think people enjoyed the viewership kept up. People just wanted this intimate version. They wanted to see the version that you're sending creepy photos and DMs of. Like that's the version of Pete they're getting in this camera angle.
Yeah. New phone. Who dis?
Hey, what up, guys? Oh, there we go. What are those sweatpants?
Let's shut this down.
Honestly, are those Jets sweatpants?
They're not sweatpants. They're shorts.
Oh, okay. Oh, there's some gams. All right. There you go, everybody.
Oh
That's what you're
God,
doing.
this is gonna end up on Fantasy Football Podcast Reddit for sure.
Make sure to go also to footballoutsiders.com/subscribe. They don't give you sweet gams like Pete just did, but they will give you fantastic data for just $5 a month, including DVOA that you hear reference all the time in the media. You can get that data for yourself at footballoutsiders.com/subscribe. I'm Chris Spags. That's Peter Overzet. We'll be back Monday, 2:30 Eastern in this same spot. So we appreciate you guys joining us, and good luck.